Hello, this is Michael Paul with the New Orleans Scottish Rite College. I'd like to discuss something today that seems silly to some and deadly serious to others: Freemasonry and magic. Not long ago, I saw a few online posts discussing current anti-Masonic activity. Mostly it's same old charges, but maybe with a fresh coat of paint. We hear things like, Freemasonry is an unacceptable group of unacceptable people who do unacceptable things. Some who call themselves good Christians say that everyone should stay far away from Freemasonry because it is anti-Christian. Many of the same long ago disproven charges are rehashed before a new audience. Conspiracy theory is a key element in this new series of attack. But even that's hardly new. We again hear that Freemasons control everything and everyone. We use magical ceremonies to brainwash our impressionable new members. And Santa is a fat old elf with a big bag of goodies. We all know the story. Let's look at one element of the anti-Masonic charges, the word magic, and explore how it is used today as well as in the past. Let's examine how this word played a role in the accusations against Freemasonry. So, can you imagine stepping into a time machine and returning to, say, the Middle Ages? There you are standing in a crowd of people, and then, somehow, your cell phone starts ringing. How do you believe the people around you would react? Humans evaluate and respond to situations based on their experiences. We've all heard cell phones ring and someone answering a call. It's a common event. We probably don't even notice someone on the phone. But how would someone in the Middle Ages, with their life experiences, view such an event? You would probably be seen as a wizard who was using some sort of supernatural powers. How could you talk with someone who's not standing there with you? Those around you would have no idea what you were doing or how you were doing it. It would likely scare the daylights out of anyone who saw you. Cell phones did not exist in the Middle Ages. Nothing like them existed. They would have been viewed as something impossible to possess. It would be a magical device. You would likely be attacked. During the Middle Ages, whatever was viewed as existing beyond the ordinary or everyday life was dangerous, magical, and of course evil. That was the only way that they could explain such things. Magic was anything not understood, and if the church did not clearly approve something, it must be immoral. A stigma became attached to the word magic. It was a stigma born out of ignorance and fear. Today, many with limited understanding of the word magic relegate it to two categories. One would be stage entertainment, such as card tricks or making a rabbit pop out of a hat, and other malicious groups of individuals using mystical powers to engage in morally offensive acts. You might not know how a magician performs some magic act on stage, but you know it's a trick. You know that it's not real magic. It's innocent amusement. You like it because it trips that "how did it happen" switch in you. You still, however, have the safety net of knowing that there's a logical answer and solution. But when something happens that you cannot draw on any personal experience or source to explain, you are often left wholly without answers. This type of unexplained magical event or situation triggers fear in some. That's when magic can mistakenly be viewed as wicked, immoral, and evil. Claude Bernard tells us, quote, "Man can learn nothing except by going from the known to the unknown," unquote. Even when we consider the powerful fear of the unknown, our human quest for knowledge has always existed and was never for long denied. We were and are curious beings. In the early days of humanity, lightning striking a tree must have been a terrifying event. How could anyone understand such a sight and sound? The tree must have been viewed as dangerous long after the strike, but this would not have stopped a curious few from approaching the dangerous tree and touching it. Maybe they could not answer why they did such a foolish thing, but they had to do it. They had to reach out. The end of the Dark Ages was an ignorant, violent, and fearful time. If you did something to create fear in another, you would most likely face harm, and fear of magic or the unknown was a profound fear. The dawn of the Middle Ages saw the Church as the accepted source, by force, of all legitimate information, knowledge, and answers. Anyone seeking answers for what was not explained by the Church put their very lives at danger by the Church. Yet, that's exactly what some people did. They questioned information or answers provided by the Church. They sought to learn for themselves and reached beyond the restricted teachings of the Church. They knowingly sought knowledge at the risk of their lives. They had to do it. They had to reach out. The seekers of light gave birth to what we know today as mysticism and esotericism, but also medicine, science, and a host of other well-respected fields. In the words of Albert Einstein, the most beautiful thing that we can experience is the mystical. It is the source of all true art and science. Esoteric knowledge or teachings were private or inner teachings that were never made available to everyone. In most all cases, these teachings were carefully guarded, as to be associated with them could bring an actual death sentence. Small groups of students would secretly gather to explore deeper aspects of themselves and their world. Vows and oaths were often required of the members in such groups to protect them and better the chance of the continuation of the group. The seeds of what we have today as Freemasonry were sown in this atmosphere. But even when the little groups of knowledge seekers illegally gathered, they could not speak or teach freely. Within each group, they could not openly provide educational material out of concern that it would be discovered and the result imprisonment or death. So they employed use of symbols. This was not at all a new way of teaching. Communicating valuable or confidential information by symbols has always been in use since the dawn of humanity. It was always effective. The use of symbols could offer profound education, and yet those uninitiated in the meaning of the symbols would see nothing of what was in reality being taught. It was not only a useful way to instruct, but it provided security. Freemasonry teaches by employing symbols because its roots are in the esoteric groups that use this method to teach. Esotericism is not a foreign subject to Freemasonry. It's as much a part of Freemasonry's fabric as initiation. But look at all that has changed around us since the time of the Middle Ages. Yes, how Freemasonry teaches its initiates to be more valuable members of society is the same as it was taught in the past. But society has profoundly changed. Education is now a central part of society. Science, mathematics, and so on are not only allowed to be taught to our young, but a foundational understanding is required of them. We not only allow education, but require it for our young children because we know that an educated population is more valuable and beneficial society. An ignorant society can be better controlled. But if we are truly free, then education of all benefits everyone, and we know it. We want a knowledgeable population because we know it better serves all of us. Even though many do not agree on the origins of Freemasonry, we can trace what we have today back to a time when education was not as open and accessible. Freemasonry offered a source of actual enlightenment to many who were denied such teachings anywhere in society. Freemasonry was also painted with the same brush as other groups of unsanctioned instruction. In the eyes of the peddlers of falsehood, we became immoral and wholly unacceptable to the true followers of Christianity. It is complete nonsense and ignorant lies, but it is the foundation and the essence of the anti-Masonic movement. Calculated deceptions are the weapons and tools of those who would use selected financially modified religion to control the hearts and minds of others. True faith is not self-serving, bigoted, nor blind. Magic is a word used to describe something seen but not completely understood. If we are magical because we initiate our candidates, then so be it. If we are magical because we do not limit our members to only those who are defined as Christian by our anti-Masonic perverters of truth, then so be it. As a Freemason, I openly and freely confess that I refuse to judge the religious beliefs of my brothers. The teachings of Freemasonry are designed to help all its members live better lives in service to the Creator and humanity. We use symbols in our manner of instruction because we have done so since a time when education was punished by those intent on denying true light to others. We are proud of what we teach and how we teach it. If all of this means that Freemasons are magical, well, then I am honored to be a magician. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy the videos, please hit the like button and subscribe to us, and support our work through Patreon. Please pay a visit to Cornerstone Book Publishers' website for outstanding Masonic education. See you next time.